following episode is brought to you by Cabarrus Brewing Company. CabarrusBrewing.com, 329 McGill Avenue in Concord, North Carolina. Stop by. It's your beer from here, the best craft beer in Concord. Check them out, 329 McGill Avenue, Concord, North Carolina. This episode is also brought to you by Threadforge Apparel Company. Find them on Facebook, facebook.com/Threadforge. They make the Tuesday special shirts. They make a bunch of my friends' shirts. They are the best, most professional place I've ever worked with. Check them out, facebook.com/Threadforge. Now let's get on with the episode.
Everything you said they already knew, more or less.
Well, here's something that you didn't know. 2 of those special atomic bombs haven't gone off.
Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Tuesday Special Podcast. Missed you last week, or did you miss me? One or the other is true. Maybe not both. But if you've never catched this episode before, if you never caught this episode before, my name is Patrick Price. I'm the host of the Tuesday Special Podcast. It's a good mix of me talking and then me interviewing my friends and professional counterparts. But today is going to be a short one. Today is going to be about a 15-minute, just giving everyone an update. Before I jump into it, if you would like to support the show, you are more than welcome to go back on YouTube and iTunes and Stitcher Radio and check out the 9 episodes before this one. Got some amazing interviews, some amazing guests. I think either last episode or the episode before last, I did a motivational one about be yourself, believe in yourself. I really appreciated that one and got a lot of good feedback from it. But yeah, I wasn't able to release the episode last week. My first episode missed. It took me almost 10 weeks till I missed the episode, but for good reason, and that's what I was going to touch base on. The baby is finally here. Last weekend, Garrison made his appearance, and it was crazy. All of my friends have kids. All of my coworkers have kids, and all of them told me, warned me, whenever this baby is born, it's going to change your life. Priorities become different. Your outlook on life will become different, and that baby is your number one priority. And I kept saying, nah, I believe you, but I think I'll stay the same. I think I'm good. I think I'll be me still. I think I'll be Patrick, the guy that has kind of an acquired 8-year-old, Cyrus, that's my girlfriend's son that I've kind of taken under my wing. But he's not my son. I mean, he's my partner in crime. He's my best friend. So that was kind of the first step of fatherhood that I stepped into. But yeah, I'm here to tell everyone that you were right. And it was an incredible experience. It was something I'm going to try to get through this podcast without tearing up like I'm about to now, because it's a very motivational thing, a very emotional thing. And my friends that know me know that I was content with never having a child. I was content with just being me. I do a lot of things. I do a lot of work. I have a work ethic. I put it up against anybody besides The Rock. The Rock, I think, trumps me on the work ethic deal. But, yeah, I never thought this day would come, and it's here. And I just wanted to share my experience with you. I shouldn't say I wanted to share mine and my girlfriend Katie's experience with you on this episode of the podcast. And like I said, I'm on father duty, so I'm going to try to knock it out within 15 minutes, then I got to jump back in the house. But yeah, it's I'm almost at a loss for words, but I got to find the words because I got to feel this episode. But so I'm going to take you through the timeline from last week because we spent Monday through Friday of last week in the hospital, and give you a rundown without giving you too many ridiculous details. There's some funny pieces in there. There's some really worrisome pieces in there. There is some very anxiety-ridden parts of this story. But if you supported me through the first 9 episodes, thank you very much. I appreciate your support. This is me stepping out of my comfort zone and me putting myself first instead of doing a lot of work for other people. And it's been fun. It's been an amazing experience. And I'm not ending it here. I'm not saying that I had a kid, my priorities have changed. Now I don't want to do the podcast. That's not what I'm doing at all. What I'm doing is I'm going to share, before I share this story, I'm going to tell you that I am taking a 2-week hiatus because I do need to be dad. I do need to be a father figure, and I do need to help my girlfriend, Katie, get everything in order. We're about to move to a new house. I'm about to move studios, so this is the last episode in the garage, unfortunately, but this is the place where it all started, and this place holds a dear part in my heart. It's a dear place in my heart, I should say. But if I stumble over my words, it's because I've had no sleep since last Tuesday, and I'm sorry, since last Tuesday, and yeah. So I'm gonna just try to get through it, and I want to give you guys my adventure. What I do here is I explain my experiences in life because I believe that's a big part of what you take with you when you leave this world, and so I'm gonna share my experience with you through my first child being born. And it was an experience. So, starting now, we went to the doctor last Monday, and Katie she was 41 weeks pregnant, and done her deal. Lasted throughout the entire term, and it was time to get induced because there was no signs she was having contractions. There was no signs of imminent labor coming like ASAP. So we went to the doctor Monday morning. We saw the doctor. They checked her. Then she came out and told me that we would get a phone call that day, either later that day or the next morning, to go to the hospital and be induced. So we were expecting it. We got everything in order. We had our bags packed for like a month before this because we originally thought little man was coming late September, but apparently he decided he wanted to come on his due date, and we'll get to that here in a second. But so around 1 o'clock, we got a phone call and it said, be at the hospital at 5:30. Let's get this thing going. So that's when the anxiety starts kicking in. That's when you thought about that day for a long time. You've prepared yourself as much as you can for that day, but I don't know. I don't think you can. If you've never been through something, you can prepare yourself for it as much as possible, but you'll never know if you're fully prepared until the day comes. And when that day comes, you realize you haven't prepared at all. So we go to the hospital. We get there about 5:30. We get in the room. Beautiful facility. The staff was amazing. And we start like going through the process, going through the paperwork, and they start her on the drip, and I can't remember all the medicines. And we just sit and we wait. And my family's there, her family's there. It's packed out. And nothing that entire day. We were waiting for the water to break. Then we went to the night. Everybody left. It was just me and her. I went to my parents' house to stay, and we waited. And I kind of off and on sleep. Sleep wasn't too bad. It's never easy to sleep in a hospital at all. But we went to, I want to say, it's a weird situation because every time we had, our nurse's name was Cam, and she was amazing. Amazing. One of my favorite nurses I've ever had, like, in a medical setting, to the point where you're in an inpatient setting, I should say, in a hospital. Like, she was one of the best. The two nurses in labor and delivery were two of the best nurses I've ever encountered, and I worked in healthcare for 15 years. And so credit to both of them. It was Cam and Stacy. And if they see this, awesome. If not, then I'm just telling you guys they deserve all the praise and glory for getting us through this, because they were a big part of it. But every time the nurse would walk in, I would kind of wake up and then just see it was her, and she'd wave me to go back to sleep, and I'd go back to sleep. And around 4:45 in the morning, I hear the call button hit, and I was thinking, oh, Katie just needs something. So I said, "Are you okay?" She didn't respond. Then somebody came over to the call button, and they said, "Hey, how can I help you?" And she says, "Oh, my water just broke. I just wanted to let you know. And I was like half awake, half asleep, just okay, okay. And then it processes. My water just broke. Oh God. So I jump up and the nurses come in. Her water had broke. So now it's like go time. In my mind, I've never been through this. So it's like go time, having contractions. I started giving her some pain medication for the contractions. And the nurse says it could be any time now. She's 8 centimeters dilated. We need to get her to 10, then it's time to start pushing. And so I call her family. They all come up. It's like they get there I think I called them at 5:30 a.m. And I believe all of them made it up probably by 6:30, 6:45 a.m. So we're pumped. My anxiety comes. This is where the humor of the story comes into play. So the anesthesiologist comes in to do the epidural. And if you don't know what an epidural is and you're not familiar with it, it's they put like a small little tube in your back that hits, I think it goes to a nerve that kind of numbs you from the waist down. And that's for women having babies. And he comes in and keep in mind, I've been so stressed out. I mean, not to take anything away from Katie, but I've been so stressed out this entire time because not that she has an advantage that she's been through this before, but I have a disadvantage because I've never been through this before. So I don't know. I've never been through this process. So everything is to the extreme for me. And the anesthesiologist comes in, the nurse is in there, and we all had to put on a mask. And I was like, well, I'll hold your hands in front of you, Katie, and you can just lean your head on my shoulder because you got to bend your back, like kind of roll your shoulders forward and arch your back, so they can get a clean line straight in. And like right as soon as like the guy gets the needle ready, and this I'm notorious for this if something happens to me. If something like if I ever like cut myself open where I have to have stitches, or when I tore my knee up, when I separated my shoulder. Like I will get like this 10-minute wave of sickness, like sugars dropping, pass out stage, and it gets ugly. And if I don't sit down or find somewhere to cool off, I'll pass out. And it's only for 10 minutes. After that 10 minutes, everything's good, everything's gravy. But this hit me right before, and I said, "Hold on, guys. I think I need to sit down." And they're very understanding, the anesthesiologist and the nurse. And so I went and sat down. The nurse stood there with Katie, which made me feel like a complete douchebag. And he got it, and I started feeling better. The funny thing is, I can't remember this guy's name, but the anesthesiologist kept picking with me, like joking about me, saying like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna be good. You're one of those guys, right?" And all this and that. And I was just like, man. And I remember one thing, I can't remember what he said, but he said one joke that was actually very funny. And I was just trying not to pass out. And he looked at me and he goes, "Oh, that was pretty good. You don't think that was funny?" I thought it was pretty funny. And I was like, "No, it's funny." And it was just like so lighthearted and made so like, it could have been so much worse, like worse experience for me, but he kind of made it. So thank you for that. It's a funny story because after I straightened out, because like I said, it only lasts 10 minutes. After I straightened out and I got my color back and I stopped sweating through my shirt, I looked at him. I said, "This is even funnier if you know what I do for a living." He's like, "What's that?" And I said, "I work in an emergency room." And he said, "Wow, that's interesting." I said, "I have for 15 years." So I don't know. It must just be when something goes on with me. But I thought it was always. I said I thought it was always when it was happening to me. But I guess that happens when I have a loved one that's going through something as well. But just a funny story. So after the epidural, that was probably around 7:15 in the morning. We just wait. We wait. Check, wait. Roll around till 6:30 in the afternoon, and the midwife tells us that, "Listen, you're still 8 centimeters dilated, and he's kind of turned a certain way, and I think he's pretty big, and we might have to do a C-section." To where Katie really didn't care for a C-section. I think it was just the surgery aspect of it that, I don't want to speak for her, but it was the surgery aspect of the C-section that kind of scared her. And And understandably so, And I just took into my thought process is the way I do it at my job, and that is we do this every day. And when you don't experience something like this, or you don't have this process of C sections or surgeries, or taking care of someone that's having a heart attack or a stroke or having seizures, uh, we in the healthcare field do this every day, so it's nothing new for us. So our anxiety and our fear is minimal to what people that are just experiencing it like a one-time thing. And that's what I kept telling myself, and that's what I kept trying to teach or preach to Katie. And eventually she understood, and it was for the safety of her and the baby. And we decided to do a C-section. And I'm getting a little long-winded, but this is an amazing story. So they bring me the suit. Katie's good. They give her some medicine. They tell me they're gonna take her in, and it's gonna be about 15 minutes, and then they'll bring me in. So I take her in, give her all the medicine, prep her for surgery, clean the area, and all that stuff. Then they'll come get me, and I can sit at her head. And and I was like, okay. So I'm in this full garb with zipped up to the top with this white um what's it called? Like a hazmat suit without the big headpiece. And I got my footies on, hazmat suit, got my mask kind of pulled up. I got my cafeteria headdress on, and I'm just standing there out in this hallway by myself with nobody around. And I'm like, my anxiety is killing me right now. I feel like I'm about to have a nervous breakdown. And so I just start taking selfies on my phone and trying to fix my hat to where it looks cool, because I know they're probably going to take pictures. As stupid as that sounds, it helped. It helped big time. And then I just started scrolling through Facebook, just trying, because I know when I scroll through Facebook, time passes quick. That was my mindset. And before long, the automatic doors open. The anesthesiologist came out and was like, "You ready to come in?" And I come in, and that was a very surreal moment. And that Katie was laying there. She was nervous. Rightfully so. Had every bit to be. But we got through it. And you worry, even though you know that you're telling yourself, if you believe in God or spirituality, you tell yourself it's in His hands. He's taking care of it. That's what we were telling ourselves. And yeah, you know that everything's going to be okay, but there's still that hint of doubt. And but I kept telling myself I can't show that because Katie's right here. And when I show that to her, it's going to just increase her anxiety, increase her fear. And I have to be positive, and I have to just keep telling her that it's almost done. 9 months of carrying this baby, and heartburn and nausea and not being able to get around and all that is almost done. And then we'll have this little angel in front of us. And then after about 20 minutes of them working and me sitting there, that's when you hear the crying and the baby. And in that moment, it's true. In that moment, life changes. Sorry. And it did. Life changed. And he came out, and thank God he was C-sectioned out because he was 9 pounds, 10 ounces. Amazing. Beautiful. And sorry. it was an awesome experience. And I got to take pictures. I won't share them on here. Those are for personal things. But then then we went to recovery. After all that, you have it's like a whirlwind of emotions like this, and you get through it, go to recovery, and then you see the family, and that's amazing. And God, get yourself together, Patrick. Then back to the humor. So that was the emotional part. Then back to the humor is we have this baby now, and everything hits you. You realize you're not going to get any sleep. You're not going to rest. Even though I have a lot of work to do, like this podcast, like a bunch of stuff for PWX, like weddings that I filmed, like all that. It's going to be even harder than it was before. And it was hard before with everything that I do. But we get to our room on Mother Baby that is substantially smaller, but still very nice facilities. And we have an IV pole that will not shut up the entire night. So night one, I'm not going to get into a lot of details because I've already went on, and that's what people wanted to hear, and that's what I wanted to share, that experience, because once again, I'm an experience-based person, and that experience, if you get to experience it, and I hope you don't have to go through the C-section thing, I hope it can be like a natural delivery, but that experience is so incredible, and spiritual, and emotional, and like, everyone should. People used to tell me, when I used to tell people that I'm okay with not having a kid, and they used to tell me, no, you need to experience it. It's like you need to experience. It's an amazing moment, and it was, and I did. But back to the humor part of it. Sorry, I'm trying not to get too emotional. Back to the humor part of it, the IV pump kept going off, so every 5 minutes. So eventually, where I sat in the chair and I just reset the button every time it did it until they finally stopped it at like 5 in the morning. So no sleep the first night. You're trying to take care of a baby. I will say, changing a newborn's diaper was kind of nasty, but nowhere near as nasty as I thought it was going to be. And I used to have this fear of breast milk. I don't know why, but that like disintegrated as soon as my baby was born. And the rest of the stay was pretty good. Still have had no sleep. We found the routine of having baby. So when the baby wakes up, you have to change him first, then feed him, and then he sleeps. Change, feed, sleep. Because if you feed, change, try to sleep, it's not going to work. And at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, you have to hit that routine right on the dot so you can get at least 2 more hours of rest or 1 more hour of rest. But yeah, and he's doing great. Had his first checkup yesterday, which I'm filming this on Tuesday, so I apologize for it getting out a little late. Once again, my schedule has been hectic as hell, but it's yeah, it's an experience. It's an amazing experience. It's life-changing, and I will say, as much as I preached against it, priorities change. They do. I will continue doing this Tuesday special podcast because this is me. This is me expressing myself. This isn't me harnessed through another entity. This isn't me harnessed through my work representing another company. This is all Patrick Price. This is all me. I'm behind the logos. I'm behind the videos. I'm behind the filming. I'm behind the audio. I'm behind the website. There's no one else, and there won't be anyone else except for my supporters. So if you'd like to support it, this isn't a cry for I need money, because I don't. It helps me get cool shirts like this that will be going on sale later this week at TuesdaySpecial.com. You can get the shirt printed by Threadforge Apparel Company, the best. They'll be $15 plus shipping and handling. And if you want to support monetarily, you can go to patreon.com/Patrick Price and support. We have three different setups. I don't feel like going over them right now because I got to get back in the house and take care of this baby. But yeah, I didn't want to leave another week because I don't want to go a full month without posting an episode. And I will be giving updates. So if you follow, like, you just go to the Patreon page, and you don't even if you don't support, just subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tuesday Special on Facebook. And I will be doing video updates. I won't be releasing episodes, but I will be doing video updates, and I'll keep you updated on how Garrison's doing, and Katie, and the family. And eventually, I might even, if he consents, I'll throw a cute little photo up of him. But just go and follow. Go and subscribe to our YouTube for all the updates. Even, like I said, even if you don't feel like you want to give $2 or $5 or $10 to the Patreon page, just keep going there because I post stuff there all the time, and it's a good way to build our what I'm calling the Tuesday community. And that's another thing this is all about, is building a community of positive individuals that want to see each other succeed. And if you need that positive reinforcement, it's there. And thank you to Brad, Seth, and Smalls for supporting through Patreon. I'm hoping to get a few more people to jump on so we can start building this thing. Yeah. And once again, I told myself I was going to do this without getting emotional, but I didn't. So I apologize. And yeah. This has been, I just wanted to put this on tape. I wanted to put this out there. So thank you for listening. And thank you for your support. And if you have a friend, family member, or partner in crime, tell them about the Tuesday Special podcast. Regular episodes will be back in 2 weeks with guest Corky Franks. Thank you guys for your support. Love every single one of you. Now let me go change this dirty diaper. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to Tuesday Special Podcast. Subscribe on iTunes, leave a like on this video, and comment down below. Oh yeah.